My name is Bill Hanway. I'm the Global Sports Leader for AECOM. I'm joined with a couple of colleagues today. Ken Billups, he's the Vice President of Economic Inclusion and Social Impact, and Tab Baker, who is a Project Executive responsible for construction and working with the JV with Turner Construction. But most importantly, I'm here with our owner and leader, Steve Ballmer. So Steve, welcome and thank you for your time today.
Sure, thank you, Bill.
You pounded home your vision to the entire team over and over again, but I think our guests might be very interested to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, our vision really for the building was to be the mecca of basketball. You know, we've got an outdoor court that's just for the fans. We're sitting here in an indoor court that's just for the fans. It's in the actual arena. The bowl, I love the bowl design. Thank you, thank you. It was designed to be intense and really focus in on the experience. You know, we have lounge spaces, yes, but the thing is all oriented to having people in their seats, making noise, supporting our team. We have the world's coolest scoreboard. Thank you very much for that concept. It's almost an acre. You won't be able to miss anything, any replay, any stat. You'll have it.
Mm-hmm. So on the social equity side, I know we worked very hard when we were looking at sites, and you selected Englewood in particular because of many reasons, and just if you could expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think there were three key reasons. Number one, we had to find a place that had enough land that we could bring together in order to do the project. Two, we had to have a favorable climate in terms of support from the city to bring the project alive, and the city of Inglewood, Mayor Butts, really provided that kind of support. And third, for me, it was sort of an extra benefit that we were building in an area that was not, affluent, and to really try to do what we can as a good neighbor to help with the economy in this area. And that means local labor to build the building. It means, local labor working here, at least to a very large extent. And I'm proud of that. We're making a $100 million investment back into the community, affordable housing, youth programs, and a number of other things. And I think that it's kind of cool for me that we get a chance to do that.
Right, and I know that you set a lot of targets for these two guys in terms of what you wanted to achieve in those. You're being very modest. But Ken, do you want to reflect a little bit on how you were able to achieve some of the targets that Steve set to us on that?
No, absolutely. What sets it up for success is a client and owner that is intentional about that work. It allows for our team, our leadership, to work with strategic stakeholders to minimize the barriers, maximize the opportunities, and then make the investment to further the capacity in the marketplace here in Englewood and surrounding communities. So we're able to do that. We're very strategic and intentional about local businesses and minority businesses working on this project. Very strategic and intentional about identifying men and women that want to be in the building trades and bringing them onto this project to start their careers in construction. Very intentional and strategic about ensuring that the education and youth are a part of the success of this project. We have after-school programs, and we brought the first ever pre-apprenticeship program to Englewood Unified School District for this project, but the benefits go beyond that. And we are very strategic and intentional about identifying organizations that we not only inform about the project, but support them, bring them into the success of the project. So you hear the passion Steve has about the design and building the features, but they're just as passionate about the community efforts and the way in which we impact our community. Social equity and economic inclusion is a team sport. It starts with the owner, the buy-in from our leadership, our strategic stakeholders all kind of put their hand in the middle, and we succeed. So thank you for your leadership, but thank you for ensuring that success was not just an arena, but success was impacting our community.
Well, thanks. I want to thank you for the effort so far, because we really wanted to have three goals. Yeah. As you point out, we wanted minority businesses, MDB businesses, to really be a part of this project, and we had committed to the city on that.
Right.
And you guys have really executed. Local labor, super important. We committed to the city on that. But it was also important to me that amongst the folks working on the project, we also represented the diversity of the community,
right.
Which was not a particular commitment we made to the city, but Latino representation, African American representation, Asian representation, et cetera. And I think you guys, I appreciate it. that you guys have taken that challenge as well and done a fantastic
Sure.
job. So
Thank you. You've helped us advance the culture and commitment in the community, because now we can lean into providing that first pre-apprenticeship program. I'm from a little town, born and raised, called Inglewood, California. So trust me, I love the commitment and I love the intentionality about it. But that commitment, those goals and those requirements on this project has allowed for us to now go and say, we need this with the building trades. We need this in the community. A pipeline that can not only service this project, but moving forward is great for the city of Englewood.
Well, I do think that's great. I mean, to be able to make some systemic change is even better than
Absolutely.
just helping our own project. So I didn't know you were from Inglewood.
Yeah, born and raised, live and work.
Well, you're being modest, so I think you guys are setting the new bar for any project in the U.S. to achieve what you guys have done. Will be challenging, but something that we should in the future all strive for. So I think that's great. Just another part of the whole process, you've made it very important that sustainability is part of our overall goals and targets. Do you want to talk a little bit about the things that made you feel like this is why that's so important?
Well, we started out with what I would call a solid plan.
Right.
And partway through the project, one of my sons really became focused in on sustainability and some of the work he's doing. And I said, gosh, we can't build a building that's anything but the best we can make it. That would be kind of, that would be hypocritical somehow. And I love the way you guys came back so that we can achieve our highest potential lead level. I mean, obviously we're going to have to earn it,
Right.
but whether it's the solar panels on top, the battery storage, the backup system, which doesn't use diesel, getting rid of gas cooking,
Reduction of water use. I mean,
water use, very important, particularly here in California. The sequestration of CO2 back into the concrete. Yes, it's an additional cost still today. I don't think it will continue to be, but it was very important.
Right. That's great. Another thing I have to ask you is that you put a lot of faith in AECOM, allowing us to both design the building and to build your building. And do you want to comment on some of the positives and maybe even some challenges?
First, let me comment on the design side. Your personal experience doing so many sports venues and so many Olympics, that bred confidence. The initial designs, good, but then your guys' willingness to really engage and to get after it, looking at, I don't know how many, 20 different arenas and
It's a few more than
stadiums
that.
and practice, whatever it was a lot.
Yeah.
That on the design side, that was all great. Now, I was skeptical about using AECOM also on the construction side, because there would have seemed to be a separation of church and state kind of thing. I mean, is that connection a negative or a positive? But we got an A first-class construction operation and an A first-class design operation.
And so just in closing, I love this space, the Ballmer Court, which is the 5th court that's going to be used for community uses and others. But in 8 months' time, what are you most looking forward to seeing in your building?
Well, I am not a highly visual person. I very much depend on drawings, but when we're at that point, and you guys are giving us the building, walking into the bowl, seeing what it looks like, the scoreboard, the wall, the intensity, and our first month we're trying to get an event where we'll have about 10,000 folks just to simulate the kind of energy that we expect in the building. That first month, from the end of June, a day later, through July, that's when we'll really, we'll really see and we'll really know.
Great. Well, Steve, I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing you every couple of weeks here on the site for the next 8 months, and of course, watching the Clippers win a championship here. So
thanks. Well, I want to thank all of you for what you've done, what you are still to do. It's been a great partnership, and we appreciate it very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.